Welcome to Bedtime Daydreams. Tonight, we're going to experience something really special. You're about to tour your dream home for the very first time. This isn't just any house. This is the one. The house you've been searching for. The one you've pictured in your mind 1,000 times. And today, you're walking through the front door. We're going to take this journey slowly, room by room. You'll feel the weight of the keys in your hand. You'll smell the fresh paint and see the way the light comes through the windows. You'll imagine your furniture in each space, your life unfolding in every corner. And by the end of tonight's story, this house will feel like it's already yours. Before we begin, if you enjoy this kind of content, please hit that subscribe button. We create fantasy stories about the scenarios we all daydream about. And leave a comment telling us where you're from, what time it is where you are, and what your dream home looks like. What's the one feature you can't live without? A library? A chef's kitchen? A room with a view? Tell us in the comments. All right. Let's begin. Close your eyes if you'd like. Take a deep breath, and let's step inside your dream home. It's Saturday morning, and the air is crisp and clear. You're sitting in your car outside a house you've been thinking about for weeks. Your real estate agent sent you the listing 3 weeks ago with a text that said, "I think this might be the one." And from the moment you saw the photos online, something clicked. This was different from all the other houses you'd toured. This one felt right. You've driven past it twice already this week, just to look at it from the street. The neighborhood is exactly what you wanted. Mature trees line the sidewalk, their branches creating a canopy of green that filters the morning sunlight into dancing patterns on the pavement. The houses are all different, but they fit together somehow, each one with its own character, its own story. Some are painted cheerful yellows and blues, others are classic white or warm gray. There's a park 2 blocks away where you can see kids playing even now on a Saturday morning. You can hear birds singing, really singing, not just the city pigeons you're used to. This isn't just a house. It's a place where you can imagine building a life. Your agent pulls up behind you and waves through her windshield. She's smiling, and you can tell she's excited for you to see this place. You grab your phone and your water bottle and step out of the car. The sun is warm on your face, but there's still that cool morning breeze that feels fresh and clean. You're wearing comfortable shoes because you want to take your time in every room. You want to feel what it's like to walk from the kitchen to the backyard, to climb the stairs, to stand in the primary bedroom and look out the window. You're not rushing this. This is too important to rush. As you walk up the front path, you notice the details. The brick walkway has a herringbone pattern that's been there for years. The bricks slightly uneven in that charming way that says this house has history. The grout between the bricks has bits of moss growing in it, and somehow that doesn't look messy. It looks like the house has been here long enough to belong. There are flower beds on either side of the path, and even though it's not peak blooming season, you can see the green shoots of plants coming up. Someone has taken care of this garden. You can already picture what you'd plant there in spring. Maybe lavender that would smell incredible in the summer heat. Maybe roses in deep reds and soft pinks. Something that smells good when you walk by. something that makes coming home feel like an event. The front porch is wider than it looked in the photos. There's a room for furniture out here, real furniture, not just a tiny bench, a couple of rocking chairs, maybe a small table between them. You imagine sitting here on summer evenings with a book and a glass of wine, watching the neighborhood go by, watching your neighbors walk their dogs, waving to the couple across the street as they head out for their evening stroll. The porch has a ceiling painted a soft blue, that haint blue you've seen in old southern homes, and your agent notices you looking up. "It's called haint blue," she says. "Old southern tradition. They used to believe it kept the spirits away, but really, it just looks beautiful and keeps the bugs down." The previous owners were from South Carolina, and they painted it when they moved in 15 years ago. You smile. You love that there's a story here. This house has details that mean something, that connect to something larger than just design choices. This porch ceiling has been looking down on 15 years of life. 15 years of people coming home, of conversations had right here, of packages delivered and guests welcomed. Your agent unlocks the front door with a lockbox code, and she steps back to let you go in first. This is your moment. You push the door open, and it swings smoothly on its hinges. No creaking, no sticking, just a solid, well-made door that someone has maintained properly. The hardware is brass, slightly tarnished in that authentic way that tells you it's the real thing, not a cheap imitation. And then you're inside. The first thing that hits you is the light. The whole front of the house is filled with it. There's a window at the end of the hallway that looks out into the backyard. And the morning sun is streaming through, making everything glow. The floors are original hardwood, you can tell immediately. They're not the cheap laminate that tries to look like wood. These are real planks, refinished to a warm honey color that makes the whole space feel inviting. They've been well cared for, loved even. You can see the grain in the wood, the character in every plank. Some of the boards are wider than others, the way they did it back when this house was built. There are slight variations in the color, lighter streaks and darker knots. And it's beautiful. It's real. The walls are painted a soft, warm white that's not stark or clinical. It's the kind of white that has just a hint of cream in it, so it doesn't feel cold. And with all this natural light, the walls seem to glow. The baseboards are thick and traditional, painted a brighter white, and they're in perfect condition. Someone has taken care of this house, really taken care of it. To your left is the living room, and it's even better than the photos suggested. The photos were good, but they couldn't capture the feeling of the space. The ceilings are high, at least 10 feet, maybe 11. There's crown molding that runs around the entire room, painted white, and it catches the light in a way that makes the space feel elegant but not fussy, not pretentious, just beautiful. The walls are painted the same soft, warm white as the hallway, and right now, with the morning light, they have a slight peachy glow that feels welcoming, like the house is happy to see you. You walk into the living room and your footsteps echo slightly on the hardwood. The room is empty right now, which somehow makes it feel bigger, but also lets you really see the space. You can see the potential. You can see your life here. Your couch would go against the far wall, facing the fireplace. Yes, there's a fireplace. It's not one of those fake gas ones with the ceramic logs that never look quite right. This is a real wood-burning fireplace with a brick surround that's been painted white. The bricks have texture. You can see the variation in the surface. And the paint has settled into the grooves in a way that looks intentional, artistic even. The mantel is thick and solid, probably original to the house. It's made of a dark wood, walnut maybe, or mahogany, and it's been stained and sealed so it glows. You run your hand along it, and the wood is smooth as glass, but you can feel the grain. You can already picture what you'd put up there. Family photos in mismatched frames, maybe some candles in hurricane glass holders, a small plant, something trailing that would cascade down over the edge. Maybe you'd change it with the seasons. Pumpkins in fall, evergreen in winter, flowers in spring. And then you see the built-in bookshelves on either side of the fireplace. And this detail alone makes your heart beat faster. You've always wanted built-ins. Always. These are painted the same white as the walls, with adjustable shelves that could hold your books, your art, your favorite things. They're deep enough for books, but not so deep that they overwhelm the room. You walk over and run your hand along one of the shelves. The wood is smooth, solid. Someone built these with care, probably when the house was renovated years ago. These aren't the cheap prefab units you can buy at a furniture store. These are custom, made for this space, made to last. Your agent is giving you space, standing back by the doorway, checking her phone but glancing up occasionally to smile at you. She knows. She can tell when someone is falling for a house, and you're falling hard. You appreciate that she's not talking, not pointing out features, not doing the hard sell. She's letting you discover this on your own terms, and that feels right. The windows in the living room are tall, almost floor to ceiling, and they have the original glass. You can tell by the way the light bends slightly when you look through them. That old glass with a little wave to it. It's not perfect, not factory smooth like modern glass, and that's exactly what makes it special. These windows have been here for decades, maybe a century. They've watched seasons change, families grow, lives unfold. The windows have deep sills, wide enough to set a plant or a book or a mug of tea. You imagine white curtains here, something light and airy that moves in the breeze when the windows are open on spring mornings. Or maybe no curtains at all. Maybe just the light, unfiltered. From the living room, you can see through to the dining room. The house has an open flow, but it's not one of those ultra-modern open concepts where everything blends together into one giant room. Each room has its own identity, its own purpose, but they connect in a way that makes sense. You can see from one space to another, but each room still feels distinct. You walk through the wide doorway between the living and dining rooms, and you're already thinking about dinner parties, about holidays, about Sunday mornings with coffee and the newspaper spread across the table, sunlight streaming in, nowhere to be, and all day to get there. The dining room has wainscoting on the lower half of the walls, painted white, with the upper walls in that same warm color as the living room. The wainscoting is traditional board and batten style, and you can see the craftsmanship in it. The boards are evenly spaced, the seams are tight, The paint is smooth. Whoever did this work knew what they were doing. There's a chandelier hanging from the ceiling, and it's perfect. It's not too fancy, not dripping with crystals like something from a palace, but it's not plain either. It has a slightly vintage feel, with brass arms and glass shades that look like they could be original to the house, but probably aren't. They're in too good a condition, too clean, but they have that same quality, that same sense of being chosen carefully and maintained lovingly. You stand in the center of the room and turn slowly, taking it all in. Your dining table would go right here. You can see it so clearly. The big farmhouse table you've been wanting. The one you saw at that antique store 6 months ago, but couldn't buy because you had nowhere to put it. 8 chairs around it. Maybe 10 if you squeeze. Room for everyone you love. The sideboard against the far wall, where you'd set out food when people come over. Serving dishes and bottles of wine and that good bread from the bakery downtown. You've never had space like this before. Space to entertain properly. Space to gather people and feed them and spend hours around the table just talking and laughing. And then you notice the windows again. This room has windows on 2 walls, and they look out onto the side yard. There are trees out there, mature oaks with branches that spread wide and thick with leaves. You can already picture how the dappled light will fall across the table at lunchtime, creating patterns that shift as the breeze moves the branches, how shadows will move across the floor as the afternoon goes on, like a sundial marking time. This is a room that changes with the seasons, with the time of day, with the weather. It's alive in a way that rooms in apartment buildings never are. It's connected to the world outside. There's a built-in hutch on one wall, glass-fronted cabinets above and solid doors below. You open one of the glass doors and it swings smoothly. The shelves inside are deep enough for dinner plates or serving bowls. You imagine your grandmother's china in here. The set she left you that's been in storage because you've never had anywhere nice enough to display it. It would look beautiful here, behind these glass doors where you could see it every day, but it would still be protected from dust. Your agent is still hanging back, scrolling through her phone, giving you time. You appreciate her instinct. She knows when to talk and when to be quiet. Right now, you need the quiet. You need to feel this house without anyone else's voice in your head. You walk toward the kitchen and you can feel your excitement building. The kitchen is important to you. You like to cook. You need a kitchen that works, that's beautiful, but also functional. You've seen too many kitchens that look amazing in photos, but would be a nightmare to actually cook in. Too small or awkward layouts, or appliances that are more about looking impressive than working well. And as you step through the doorway into the kitchen, you let out a breath you didn't know you were holding. This is it. This is the kitchen. It's not huge. It's not one of those massive chef's kitchens with 2 islands and appliances you'd never use, and more square footage than some apartments. But it's perfect. The cabinets are white shaker style, simple and classic, with brushed brass hardware that catches the light. The pulls are substantial, real metal, not the cheap hollow kind. These are quality. The countertops are white marble with gray veining, and they're in beautiful condition. No chips, no stains, no signs of neglect. Someone has sealed them properly and cleaned them regularly. The backsplash is white subway tile, classic and clean and timeless. Nothing here is trying too hard. Nothing is trendy in a way that will look dated in 5 years. Everything just works. There's a farmhouse sink under the window, deep and white and perfect. It's a real farmhouse sink, the kind that's exposed on the front, showing off the smooth white porcelain. The faucet is in that same brushed brass as the cabinet hardware, a gooseneck style that's both elegant and practical. You can fit big pots under that faucet. You can fill your largest stock pot without struggling. The window over the sink looks out onto the backyard, and you can already imagine standing here washing dishes and watching the birds at the feeder you'll hang in the tree, watching the light change as the day goes on. This is a sink where you'd want to spend time, where washing dishes wouldn't feel like a chore, but like a meditative moment in your day. The stove is new, or newish. You can tell by the condition and the style. It's a gas range with 6 burners and a griddle in the middle. Not restaurant grade, not obnoxiously professional in a way that's more about showing off than cooking, but definitely high quality. The kind of stove you could really cook on. The burners are sealed, which means they're easy to clean. The grates are cast iron, heavy and substantial. You imagine making big pots of soup on winter Sundays, the kitchen steamy and warm, something simmering all afternoon, searing steaks on Friday nights, the kitchen filling with that incredible smell of meat and butter and garlic. The oven is double, which means you could bake cookies on one rack and roasted chicken on another. You could make Thanksgiving dinner without having to time everything perfectly because you only have one oven. The possibilities are already unfolding in your mind. To the right of the stove is a built-in refrigerator covered with cabinet panels so it blends right in. You wouldn't even know it was a refrigerator if you didn't know to look for it. You open it, and it's pristine inside, empty and clean and ready for your life to fill it. The shelves are glass, easy to clean. The drawers slide smoothly. It's a good refrigerator, a quality refrigerator, and it's going to stay with the house. You imagine it stocked with fresh vegetables from the farmer's market and good cheese from that specialty shop downtown, and leftovers in glass containers. You imagine the door covered with photos held up by magnets, schedules and shopping lists, and the debris of daily life that makes a house a home. There's an island in the center of the kitchen, and it's the perfect size. Not too big that it makes the kitchen feel cramped, not too small that it's useless. You can walk all the way around it comfortably. The top is the same white marble as the counters, a continuous piece that flows seamlessly. There are 3 bar stools tucked underneath. Simple wooden stools with slightly curved seats. You imagine sitting here in the morning with coffee, reading the news on your tablet, the house quiet around you. You imagine friends perched on these stools while you cook, talking and laughing and sipping wine, helping chop vegetables or just keeping you company. Under the island is storage. You pull out one of the drawers and it slides smoothly, solidly. These are quality drawers with real hardware, not the cheap slides that stick or rattle. Deep drawers that you could fit all your pots and pans in, all your mixing bowls and baking sheets. Everything organized and accessible. No more digging through crowded cabinets to find what you need. There's even an outlet on the side of the island where you could plug in your mixer or your laptop or your phone while it charges. The kitchen has pendant lights hanging over the island, 3 of them in a row, with clear glass shades and exposed bulbs. They're on a dimmer, which you discover when you try the switch. You turn them up and down, watching the light change, imagining them glowing softly in the evening, creating that warm pool of light that makes a kitchen feel like the heart of the home. During the day, with all this natural light from the windows, you probably wouldn't need them. But in the evening, when it's dark outside and you're cooking dinner, they would make this space feel cozy and intimate. Beyond the island is a breakfast nook, and this is the detail that really gets you. It's a bay window with built-in bench seating, upholstered in a cream fabric that looks new. The benches are deep and comfortable, with throw pillows in soft blues and grays. There's storage underneath the benches. You can tell by the seams in the upholstery. Lift-top storage where you could keep table linens or extra blankets or board games or all those things you need but don't need every day. The table is already there. A small round pedestal table in dark wood that fits the space perfectly. Someone is leaving it behind, your agent tells you when she sees you looking. It was custom made for this nook decades ago, and the current owners want it to stay with someone who will appreciate it. You sit down on the bench and look out the bay window. The view is the backyard again, a different angle than from the sink. You can see the whole expanse of it from here. The lawn, green and well-maintained. The trees at the back of the property, tall and mature. The fence at the very back, wooden and solid. And you, imagine sitting here every morning. Breakfast with whoever you share your life with, or breakfast alone with a book if you live alone, reading the paper, planning your day. This spot has morning light that's going to be incredible. The sun rises on this side of the house, and this bay window is positioned perfectly to catch it. You can already feel how it's going to look, that golden early light streaming in, making your coffee glow in its cup. Your agent appears in the doorway. Want to see the rest of the first floor before we go upstairs? She asks. You nod and stand up, running your hand along the marble countertop one more time as you walk past. You want to remember what this feels like, this moment of discovery, this moment when everything is still possibility. Off the kitchen is a mudroom and laundry room, and you're impressed by how practical this space is. There are cubbies built into the wall, 5 of them in a row, one for each member of a family. Each cubby has hooks for coats and bags, a shelf above for hats and scarves, and space below for shoes. The floor is tile, a gray slate that's beautiful and easy to clean. There's a bench where you could sit to take off your shoes, long enough for 2 people. The washer and dryer are stacked in a closet with folding doors that close them away when you're not using them. They're newer models, front-loading and efficient. Everything here is thoughtful, designed for real life, for the actual daily business of coming and going. There's a door from the mudroom that leads to the garage, and another that leads to the backyard. You open the backyard door and step out onto a covered patio. The backyard is bigger than you expected. The photos didn't really capture the scale of it. It's deep, stretching back maybe 60 feet, 70 feet. And it's fully fenced with a wooden privacy fence that looks new, or at least well-maintained. The wood hasn't grayed or warped. The gate in the back corner has real hardware, not just a flimsy latch. The lawn is green and well-maintained, mowed in neat stripes that show someone takes pride in this yard. There are mature trees at the back of the property, oaks and maples with thick trunks and spreading branches. They provide shade, real shade, the kind of deep, cool shade that makes summer afternoons bearable. Garden beds line the fence on both sides, and someone has clearly loved these beds. They're full of plants, some still green and flowering, others dormant for the season. You can see hostas and daylilies and what might be peonies, ornamental grasses that sway in the breeze. The beds are mulched with dark brown hardwood mulch, fresh and neat. There are no weeds. The edges are clean and defined. This is a garden that someone has tended with care, with attention, with love. The patio where you're standing is covered with a pergola that has climbing jasmine growing on it. You can see the thick vines wrapped around the beams, woody and substantial. In the spring and summer, this pergola will be covered in green leaves and white flowers, and you imagine how it will smell when those flowers bloom. That sweet, heady scent of jasmine that makes everything feel romantic and lush. There's space out here for a grill, a table, chairs. You can already picture summer evenings, eating dinner outside, staying out until dark, watching fireflies rise from the grass as the night comes on. At the back corner of the yard, there's a small shed that matches the house. It's painted the same color, a soft blue-gray, with white trim that matches the house trim. It has real windows with shutters and a real door, not just a cheap metal shed. Inside, through the window, you can see shelving and a workbench. There's space for garden tools, maybe a lawnmower. Maybe you'd turn part of it into a potting shed, a place to start seeds in early spring. Or maybe it becomes a studio, a quiet place to work or read or just be alone when you need to be. It has electricity, your agent mentions. The previous owners ran a line out here years ago. It even has a small space heater for winter days when you want to putter around out here. You stand on the patio and take it all in. This yard has potential, real potential. You could have a vegetable garden back there where the sun hits in the afternoon. Tomatoes and peppers and herbs. You could hang a hammock between those two oak trees, string it up on a lazy Saturday, and spend the afternoon reading with the breeze rocking you gently. You could build a fire pit in that open space near the shed, circle it with Adirondack chairs, have friends over on cool fall nights to roast marshmallows and tell stories. This isn't just a yard. This is a place where life could happen, where memories could be made. Your agent is waiting by the door, smiling at you. She can tell you're falling in love with this place. The backyard sealed it for you. You can feel it. You walk back inside, and she locks the door behind you. Ready to see upstairs? She asks. You are. You're so ready. You've been picturing the primary bedroom since you saw it in the listing photos. But you know that photos can't capture everything. You need to stand in it. You need to see it with your own eyes. Feel it with your own body in the space. You walk back through the kitchen and into the hallway. The staircase is at the front of the house, right off the entry. And it's beautiful in that understated way that the whole house seems to be. Nothing is screaming for attention. Everything is just quietly, confidently beautiful. The steps are the same hardwood as the floors, with a runner down the center in a subtle stripe pattern, beige and cream. The runner is held in place with brass stair rods at each step, and you can tell they're antique or at least vintage. They have that patina that only comes with age. The banister is painted white with a handrail in natural wood, smooth under your hand as you climb. Someone has sanded and sealed this handrail many times over the years, and it shows. It's like silk under your palm. At the top of the stairs, there's a landing with a window that looks out onto the front yard. Natural light pours in here too. This house is full of light, and it's one of the things you noticed in the photos, and now you're experiencing it in person. Every room seems to glow, seems to welcome the sun. The landing has hardwood floors like the rest of the house, and there's a small table against the wall with a lamp on it. Not the seller's furniture, your agent says, but she thinks they might leave it if you want it. It fits the space so perfectly, like it was made for this exact spot. To the right are 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. Guest rooms, you think, or office, or whatever you need them to be. The flexibility of the space is part of what makes it perfect. You peek into the first one. It's a good size, maybe 12 by 12, with a closet and windows on 2 walls. The walls are painted a soft gray blue that's calming and sophisticated. The trim is white. The floors are the same hardwood. The closet has a bifold door that opens to reveal a decent space with a rod and shelf. You imagine this as a guest room, or maybe a home office with a desk by the window. The light would be perfect for working, bright but not harsh, coming from 2 directions so you'd never be in your own shadow. The second bedroom is similar in size, maybe slightly smaller, painted a warm cream color with white trim. This could be a craft room, you think, or a nursery if that's in your future, or just another guest room. The closet is deep, surprisingly deep, with built-in shelving that someone added. White melamine shelves, adjustable, practical. You could store so much in here. All those things you need but don't need every day. Extra linens and out-of-season clothes and boxes of holiday decorations. The bathroom between these 2 rooms has been updated recently. You can tell by the fixtures and the tile. Everything is clean and modern, but not aggressively so. Not cold or sterile. It has a tub shower combo with white subway tile and a glass door. The vanity is floating in a warm wood tone that contrasts nicely with the white walls, with a white marble top that matches the kitchen counters. It's a single sink, but the counter has plenty of space for toiletries. There's a medicine cabinet with a mirror and good lighting on either side, sconces with white glass shades that provide even, flattering light. The floor is white hexagon tile with dark grout, a classic choice that looks both vintage and fresh. Everything here is clean and new and ready to use, but it also has character. It doesn't feel like a hotel bathroom. It feels like home. And then you walk to the left side of the landing, toward the primary bedroom. The door is open, and you step inside, and you have to stop for a moment because this room is extraordinary. This room is flooded with light. There are windows on 2 walls, facing both the front and side of the house, and the morning sun is streaming through both sets. It's almost overwhelming, this much light, but in the best way. The walls are painted a soft white that feels warm, not stark, not cold. It's a shade of white that has just a hint of something in it, maybe the tiniest touch of yellow or pink, so it glows when the light hits it. The floors are the same hardwood as the rest of the house, and there's a ceiling fan with a light in the center of the room, turning slowly even though no one turned it on. It must be controlled by a wall switch somewhere, set to a low speed that keeps the air moving gently. The room is big, bigger than any bedroom you've ever had. You pace it out roughly, and it's got to be at least 15 by 18, maybe bigger. Your bed would go against the far wall, facing the windows. You'd wake up every morning to this light. Every single morning, this light would be the first thing you see. You walk to the center of the room and turn slowly, taking it all in. There's space here for a sitting area by the window, a couple of comfortable chairs and a small table where you could drink your morning coffee before you're fully ready to face the day, or read before bed, that last half hour when you're winding down. Space for dressers and a full-length mirror, and all the things that make a bedroom feel like yours. This isn't just a bedroom. This is a suite, a sanctuary. And then you see the closet. It's not just a closet. You walk over and open the door, and you actually laugh out loud. This is more than a closet. This is a dressing room. It's huge, maybe 8 feet by 10 feet, with built-in shelves and hanging rods on 3 walls. The 4th wall has the door and a full-length mirror mounted on it. There's a built-in dresser unit in the middle, an island really, with drawers on both sides and a countertop where you could lay out jewelry or fold clothes or just have space to organize yourself. There's even a window in here, a small window that lets in light. You've never had a closet with a window before. You've never had a closet that felt like an actual room. You could organize your entire wardrobe in here. Everything would have a place. You could actually see all your clothes instead of them being crammed into an overstuffed closet where half of them get forgotten at the back. You could arrange things by color or by season or by type. You could make this space beautiful and functional. This is the kind of closet where getting dressed in the morning would actually be enjoyable, where you could take your time and choose what you want to wear without frustration. The closet has good bones. The shelves are adjustable, held in place with those little metal pins, so you could configure it however you want. The hanging rods are sturdy, screwed directly into the wall studs, not those cheap tension rods that fall down when you hang too many clothes on them. The drawers in the center island slide smoothly, and they're deep. Real storage. Someone designed this closet with intention, with thought about how people actually use closets. Back in the bedroom, you notice another door, the primary bathroom. Your hand is on the doorknob, and you're almost afraid to open it, because if the closet was that good, what is the bathroom going to be? You turn the knob and push the door open and step inside, and you have to take a moment, because this bathroom is extraordinary. It's been completely renovated, and whoever did it knew what they were doing. The floor's white marble tile with gray veining that matches the kitchen counters. The walls are white subway tile on the lower half, going up maybe 4 feet, with the upper walls painted a soft gray-green that's sophisticated and calming. It's a color that makes you think of spa bathrooms, of hotels in the mountains, of quiet luxury. The ceiling is white, and there's a skylight above the shower that you didn't see from outside. Natural light pours down from above, and you realize this bathroom is going to be bright even on cloudy days. There's a double vanity with 2 sinks, and it's long, at least 6 feet. Lots of counter space, more than you've ever had in a bathroom. The countertop is white marble again, consistent with the kitchen and the floor. The sinks are undermount, white porcelain, simple and classic. The faucets are in that same brushed brass that's throughout the house, and they're substantial, quality fixtures that will last. Above the sinks is a huge mirror that runs the length of the vanity, edge to edge. It makes the bathroom feel even bigger, reflects all that natural light back into the space. The lighting is perfect. Sconces on either side of the mirror, positioned at face height, that give even, flattering light. No harsh shadows, no weird angles. This is lighting you could put on makeup by. Lighting that makes you look like yourself, instead of washing you out or casting strange shadows. But the showstopper is the shower. It's enormous, maybe 5 feet by 4 feet, with glass walls on 3 sides and tile on the back wall. The glass is clear, not frosted, so you can see the beautiful tile work inside. The tile inside is white subway on the walls, with a gray marble floor that has radiant heating, your agent mentions. The floor will be warm under your feet, even in the dead of winter. There's a built-in bench, tiled in the same white subway, long enough to sit on comfortably or to set your shampoo and soap on. And there are 2 shower heads, a rainfall one overhead, big and square, at least 12 inches across, and a handheld on the wall that's on a slide bar so you can adjust it to whatever height you want. You imagine standing under that rainfall shower head on a Sunday morning, hot water pouring over you, nowhere to be and nothing to do. Just standing there, letting the water wash away everything, feeling clean and new. Next to the shower is a separate soaking tub, freestanding and deep. It's white, a modern style with clean lines and a flat rim. It's positioned under a window, not the same window that's in the closet, but another one, on the exterior wall. You could take a bath and look out at the trees. You could light candles and pour a glass of wine, and actually relax, really relax, in a way you haven't been able to in years. This is the kind of bathroom people dream about, the kind you see in magazines and think could never be yours. But it could be. It is. If you make this offer, this bathroom is yours. There's also a water closet, a separate little room for the toilet, tucked into the corner. It has a regular door, not a pocket door or a flimsy accordion door, a real door that closes and locks, which means 2 people could use this bathroom at the same time without awkwardness. One person could be in the shower while another brushes their teeth, or one person could be getting ready while another is in the water closet. It's such a small thing, but it's the kind of detail that makes daily life easier, smoother, less frustrating. The bathroom has storage too. Cabinets under the vanity, deep drawers that would hold all your stuff. And there's a linen closet built into the wall, floor to ceiling, with shelves for towels and extra toiletries, and all those things you need in a bathroom. Everything has been thought through. Nothing has been overlooked. You walk back into the bedroom and just stand there. This space. This beautiful light-filled space. This could be yours. This could be where you start and end every day. Where you wake up and go to sleep. Where you get ready for the world and retreat from it. This could be your sanctuary, your safe place, the spot that's just yours. Your agent is leaning against the door frame, giving you time again, letting you process. When you look at her, she smiles, and it's a genuine smile, not a sales smile. She's happy for you. She knows what it feels like when someone finds their house. "There's more," she says. "Want to see the attic?" You didn't realize there was an attic. Well, you knew the listing mentioned it, but you'd kind of forgotten about it. Storage space, you thought. A dusty area with boxes and Christmas decorations. You follow her back to the landing, and she points up. There's a pull-down staircase in the ceiling, and she reaches up and pulls the cord. The staircase unfolds smoothly, the hinges well-oiled, the steps solid and sturdy. She gestures for you to climb up, and you do. You climb up into the attic, and you're amazed. This isn't a dusty storage space. This is a finished room. A whole additional room that you didn't even know you were getting. The ceiling slopes with the roof line, but there's plenty of headroom in the center, at least 7 feet. The walls are painted white, and there are 2 dormer windows that let in light. Real windows with screens, not just little vents. The floor is carpeted in a neutral beige, recently installed by the feel of it. There's even a small closet built into the eaves, utilizing that awkward space under the slope of the roof. This space is huge. You pace it out and it's got to be at least 20 by 15, maybe bigger. You could make this into anything. An office, a studio, a playroom, a craft room, a home gym, a media room. The possibilities are endless, and it's quiet up here. Separate from the rest of the house, a true retreat. You could come up here and work and no one would even know you were home. Or you could set up a home theater, put a projector and a screen on that far wall, add some comfortable seating. The insulation is good, your agent says, so it stays cool in summer and warm in winter. It's not just bonus space, it's real. Usable space. You imagine setting up a desk by one of the windows, working up here with the trees visible outside, the quiet hum of the house below you. Or maybe this becomes a reading nook, with a big comfortable chair and a lamp and shelves of books running along the walls. Or maybe it's a guest suite, a place where people could stay and have real privacy. Their own space away from the main living areas of the house. Maybe you put a daybed in here. Make it a multi-purpose space. Guest room when you need it. Office the rest of the time. Whatever it becomes, this is bonus space. Space you didn't even know you needed until now. Space that makes this house even more perfect, more flexible, more full of possibility. You climb back down the attic stairs, and your agent folds them back up into the ceiling. You're standing on the landing, and you can see the whole layout of the upstairs from here. 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, and that amazing attic space. This house has room to grow, room to change as your life changes. It's not just right for you now. It could be right for you for years, for decades. Want to see the basement? Your agent asks. You didn't know there was a basement either, or if you did, you'd forgotten about it. This house just keeps getting better. More space, more possibility, more of everything you didn't even know you wanted. You follow her back downstairs and through the kitchen. There's a door you hadn't noticed before, tucked beside the pantry. She opens it and flips on a light, and you descend another staircase, this one to the basement. The stairs are painted wood, not the rough, unfinished lumber you'd expect in a basement. Someone has taken care of this space too. The basement is partially finished. The main area is carpeted with walls painted a neutral gray, and there's a full bathroom down here too, complete with a shower. This space is huge, running the full length and width of the house. You could put a couch and a TV down here, make it a family room or a game room or a home theater. There's enough space for a pool table and a bar and seating areas, and you'd still have room left over. The ceiling is open, exposed joists and ductwork and pipes, but it's been painted black, so it all disappears. It actually looks intentional, industrial, almost trendy. You could section off part of it as an exercise area with weights and a yoga mat and whatever equipment you need. You could set up a workshop if you're into woodworking or crafts. You could make this into whatever you need it to be. And because there's a bathroom down here, it functions as real living space, not just storage. At the back of the basement is the unfinished part, the mechanical room with the furnace and water heater and electrical panel. But even this space is clean and organized, with shelving units for storage. The furnace looks new, or at least well-maintained. The water heater has a date on it, only 3 years old. The electrical panel is modern, circuit breakers, not fuses, with room for expansion if you ever want to add more circuits. Everything here suggests this house has been cared for, maintained properly, updated when needed. There's even a door that leads to the backyard from the basement, a walkout with stairs up to grade level. This means the basement gets natural light too, through the door and a couple of small windows up near the ceiling. It doesn't feel like a dungeon. It doesn't feel dark or damp or unpleasant. It feels like usable space, like a real part of the house. You walk back upstairs and close the basement door behind you. You're standing in the kitchen again, and you look around at this space that already feels familiar. You've only been here maybe an hour, but you feel like you know this house, like it knows you, like you were meant to find each other. Your agent is watching you, and she knows. She can see it on your face. She's seen it before. This moment when someone realizes they've found their house. She smiles, waiting for you to say it out loud. "What do you think?" she asks, even though she already knows the answer. "I think this is it," you say. "This is the one." Your agent smiles, and you can see she's excited for you. She's been doing this long enough to know when someone finds their house. And this is yours. You can feel it in your bones. You walk through the house one more time, slower now. You're not discovering it anymore. You're memorizing it. You're already thinking about it as your house, even though nothing is official yet. You walk from room to room, and in each space, you imagine your life. Not in an abstract way, but specifically, concretely. You imagine real moments. In the living room, you imagine Christmas mornings, with a tree in the corner by the window, decorated with ornaments you've collected over the years. You imagine fires in the fireplace on winter nights, the room warm and glowing, the windows dark against the cold outside. You imagine all those books on the built-in shelves, some organized by author, some just shoved in wherever they fit, because that's how you actually live. Not perfectly styled like a magazine photo, but lived in, used, loved. In the dining room, you imagine Thanksgiving dinner with your family crowded around the table. Your mom would sit there, your dad there, your siblings filling in the rest of the seats. You imagine birthday parties and dinner parties and Tuesday nights when it's just you with takeout and a podcast playing from your phone. You imagine the room full of voices and laughter and the clinking of glasses. And you imagine it quiet too, just you on a Sunday morning with coffee and the newspaper, sun streaming through those windows, nowhere to be. In the kitchen, you imagine making pancakes on Saturday mornings, the smell filling the whole house. You imagine trying new recipes on weeknight evenings, following along with a cooking video on your tablet propped on the counter. You imagine the refrigerator covered with the chaos of daily life, photos and takeout menus and reminders and invitations. You imagine standing at that sink, washing dishes while someone else dries, talking about your day, making plans for tomorrow, the comfortable rhythm of shared tasks. In the primary bedroom, you imagine falling asleep every night in that light-filled space. You imagine waking up every morning to sun streaming through those windows. You imagine reading in bed on Sunday mornings, that quiet hour before the day really begins when you're awake, but you don't have to be anywhere. You imagine this room being your safe place, your retreat, the spot that's just yours where you can close the door and be completely yourself. You walk back downstairs and outside to the backyard one more time. The sun is higher now, almost noon, and the yard looks different in this light. You can see where the shade falls, where the sun hits. You can already plan where you'd put a garden, where you'd hang that hammock, where the fire pit would go. You imagine sitting out here on the patio on summer evenings, eating dinner outside, staying out until dark, watching fireflies rise from the grass. You imagine fall afternoons raking leaves, winter mornings with everything covered in snow, spring days planting flowers and watching everything come back to life. When you come back inside, your agent is sitting at the kitchen island with her laptop open, already pulling up forms and documents. "Want to make an offer?" she asks, and her eyes are bright, excited for you. You do. You absolutely do. You sit down next to her and you start talking numbers. The house is listed at a price that's fair for the neighborhood. You've done your research. You've already been pre-approved for a mortgage that covers it. You've been saving for this for years. You've been ready for this. You decide to offer asking price. You don't want to risk losing this house over a few $1,000s. This is too important. This is your house. Your agent drafts the offer right there at the kitchen island. You're sitting in what might be your kitchen, making an offer on what might be your house. It feels surreal. It feels right. She includes a letter you wrote last night, one of those personal letters to the sellers where you introduce yourself and tell them why you love this house. You've heard that personal letters can make a difference, especially when there are multiple offers. and you want to do everything you can to make sure this house becomes yours. In the letter, you talked about how you appreciate all the care they've put into maintaining the house, all the thoughtful updates, the beautiful garden they've tended. You promise to love it the way they have. She submits the offer electronically while you're sitting there. You watch her hit send, and then it's done. It's out there. Now you wait. She tells you the sellers have 24 hours to respond, but usually people respond faster than that. Usually within a few hours, especially on a Saturday when everyone is available. The next few hours are excruciating. You go home to your current place, which suddenly feels wrong. Too small, too dark, too temporary. The walls are thin, and you can hear your neighbors arguing. The kitchen is tiny with barely any counter space. The bathroom is outdated and cramped. Everything about it feels like you're just passing through, and you realize that's exactly what you've been doing. Waiting to start your real life. Waiting for the right place. Waiting for this. You can't stop thinking about the house. You keep picturing yourself there, walking through those rooms, living that life. You check your phone every 5 minutes, even though you know your agent will call the second she hears anything. You try to distract yourself with TV, but you can't focus. You try to read, but the words blur together. You make lunch, but you're not really hungry. You just pace around your apartment, checking your phone, imagining worst-case scenarios. What if someone else made a better offer? What if the sellers don't like your letter? What if they choose someone else? Finally, late in the afternoon, your phone rings. It's her. Your heart jumps into your throat. They accepted, she says, and you can hear the smile in her voice. Congratulations, you just bought a house. For a moment, you can't breathe. And then you're laughing and maybe crying a little too. And you're saying, really? They really accepted? Like you can't quite believe it, but she confirms it. They loved your letter. They loved that you appreciated all the details they cared about when they renovated. They loved that you mentioned the garden and the built-ins and the care they'd put into the place. They want the house to go to someone who will love it the way they did. And that's you. The closing is scheduled for 6 weeks from now. 6 weeks of inspections and appraisals and paperwork and waiting. 6 weeks that feel like forever. But you fill those weeks with planning. You start making lists of everything you need to do, everything you want to buy, all the ways you'll make this house yours. You measure rooms during the home inspection, sneaking a tape measure while the inspector is checking the furnace. You need to know what furniture will fit where. Your couch will work in the living room. Your bed will fit perfectly in the primary bedroom. You'll need a new dining table, something bigger, something worthy of that beautiful room. You order paint samples for the 2 rooms you want to repaint before you move in, testing them on the walls during another visit to see how they look in different light. You start sorting through your stuff, deciding what to keep and what to donate. Everything you own has to earn its place in your new home. That lamp you've had since college that you never really liked, gone. The books you know you'll never read again, donated. The clothes that don't fit or that you haven't worn in 2 years, out. You're ruthless about it, and it feels good. It feels like you're shedding your old life, making space for the new one. You drive by the house more than you should. Sometimes you park across the street and just look at it. Your house. Soon this will really be your house. You notice things you didn't see during the tour. The way the afternoon light hits the front windows and makes them glow. The fact that there's a hummingbird feeder hanging from the porch eave. The numbers of the address, brass and slightly tarnished in that authentic way, mounted beside the door. You memorize every detail. The home inspection goes well. There are a few minor things, stuff you expected. The inspector notes that one of the gutters has a small leak, and there's a crack in the driveway that should probably be sealed. The sellers agree to fix both before closing. Everything else is in good shape. The roof is newer, maybe 10 years old, with plenty of life left. The foundation is solid, with no signs of water damage or settling. All the systems work properly. The house passed with flying colors. You go to the house for the final walkthrough the day before closing. This is your last chance to make sure everything is as it should be before you sign the papers. The sellers have moved out, and the house is empty now. Your footsteps echo in the rooms. Walking through the empty house is strange. It looks bigger without furniture. You can really see the space now, the bones of it. The beautiful floors stretching wall to wall, the way the rooms flow into each other, the light coming through all those windows. And it's beautiful. Even empty, it's beautiful. You walk from room to room, checking that everything works, that nothing has changed since you made your offer. The faucets all run, the lights all turn on, the windows open and close smoothly. Everything is perfect. You stand in the living room and look around at the empty space, and you imagine it full of your furniture and your life and your future. Tomorrow, this becomes real. Tomorrow, you sign the papers and get the keys, and this stops being someone else's house and becomes yours. The next day, you sit in a title company office and sign what feels like 100 pieces of paper. Your hand cramps from all the signatures. Your name, over and over, on documents about the mortgage and the title and the insurance and things you don't fully understand, but you trust your agent to guide you through. You write a check for the down payment, and it's the biggest check you've ever written in your life. Seeing all those zeros makes it real in a way nothing else has. This is happening. This is really happening. And then it's done. The title officer hands you a thick envelope. Inside are the keys to your house. 2 sets, brass keys on a simple ring. You hold them in your hand, and they're heavy, real, yours. You drive to the house immediately. You don't want to wait another minute. When you pull up, it looks the same as always, but somehow different, because now it's yours. You park in the driveway, not on the street, because you can. This is your driveway now. You walk up the front path with your keys in your hand. You unlock the front door, and this time, you don't have to wait for someone to let you in. This time, you walk in alone, and you close the door behind you, and you're home. The house is empty and quiet. Your footsteps echo as you walk through the rooms. You go to every room, even the ones you saw yesterday during the walkthrough. You want to experience each space as the owner now. This is different from being a buyer or a visitor. This is yours. You stand in the kitchen and look out the window over the sink at the backyard. Your backyard. You imagine all the meals you'll cook here, all the mornings you'll stand in this exact spot drinking coffee and watching the birds. You open the cabinets and they're empty, waiting for your dishes, your food, your life. You go upstairs to the primary bedroom and stand at the windows. The afternoon light is coming through, and the room glows. Your room now. You walk into the closet and it smells like fresh paint and new wood. You hang your jacket on one of the rods just to see what it looks like. It looks right, like it belongs there. In the primary bathroom, you turn on the shower just to see the water pressure. It's strong and steady. You imagine your first shower here, tomorrow morning maybe, washing away the stress of moving and starting fresh in this new space. You walk through every room again, slower this time. You're not checking anything now. You're just being here, being in your house, alone for the first time with this space that's yours. You sit on the floor of the living room and lean back against the wall and just look around. This is where your life is going to happen now. All of it. The good days and the bad days. The ordinary and the extraordinary. All of it will happen here. You go out to the backyard and sit on the patio steps. The sun is starting to get lower in the sky, that golden hour light that makes everything beautiful. You look at the yard and you start making plans. You'll plant tomatoes in the spring, right there in that sunny spot. You'll hang string lights across the patio for summer evenings. You'll get a grill and a table and chairs. You'll make this outdoor space as homey as the indoor spaces. You sit there for a long time, just watching the light change, listening to the birds, feeling the peace of this place, your place. This is what you've been working toward for so long. This is what all those years of saving and planning and dreaming have led to. And it's real. You're here. This is yours. When the sun starts to set, you go back inside. You lock the back door and you walk through the house one more time, turning off the lights you'd turned on. You don't have furniture yet, so you can't stay tonight. But soon, very soon. You lock the front door behind you and stand on the porch for a moment. Your porch, your door, your home. You run your hand along the railing and you smile. Tomorrow the moving truck comes. Tomorrow you start filling this house with your life. But tonight, you just savor this moment. The moment when the dream becomes real. The next morning, the moving truck arrives early. You're already there, waiting, even though they told you they wouldn't be there until 9. You couldn't sleep anyway. You were too excited. You unlock the front door and prop it open, ready for the movers to carry in your life. Watching your furniture come through that door is surreal. Your couch, which looked too big in your old apartment, fits perfectly in the living room, right where you imagined it. The movers set it down, and you step back to look at it. And yes, that's exactly right. Your dining table, the new one you bought specifically for this house, looks beautiful in the dining room. It fills the space without overwhelming it. Your bed frame goes upstairs to the primary bedroom, and when the movers leave, you make the bed yourself. You put on your favorite sheets, your comforter, your pillows, and then you lie down on it right in the middle of the day, and you look up at the ceiling of your bedroom. Your ceiling, your bedroom, your house. It takes most of the day to get everything moved in and placed roughly where you want it. Some things are still in boxes, stacked in corners of rooms, but the big pieces are there. The furniture that makes a house look lived in. By the time the movers leave in the late afternoon, you're exhausted but happy. Deeply, completely happy. You order pizza for dinner because you haven't unpacked your kitchen yet. You sit on the floor of your living room eating pizza straight from the box, and it's one of the best meals you've ever had because you're eating it here in your house, surrounded by your things. The boxes can wait until tomorrow. Tonight, you're just going to be here in this space that's finally, officially yours. That night, you sleep in your house for the first time. Your bed is made with your sheets, in your bedroom, in your house. You lie there in the dark, listening to the sounds of this new place, the way the house settles, the tree branches moving against the window in the breeze, the hum of the refrigerator downstairs, the tick of the clock in the hallway that you hung up this afternoon. The quiet that's different from any quiet you've known before. Not the quiet of an apartment with neighbors on all sides. This is the quiet of your own space, your own walls, your own life. And you sleep better than you have in years. Deeply, dreamlessly, peacefully. You wake up to sunlight streaming through your bedroom windows, and for a moment, you're disoriented. And then you remember, this is your house, this is your room, this is your life now. The first few weeks are a whirlwind of unpacking and organizing and settling in. There's so much to do. Finding places for everything. Figuring out the quirks of the house, like which light switches control which lights, and how long it takes for the hot water to reach the upstairs bathroom, and which windows stick a little when you try to open them on humid days. But even with all the work, there's joy in every moment, because you're doing this work in your house. Every box you unpack makes it more yours. Every picture you hang on the wall makes it more home. You take your time with it, not rushing, enjoying the process of making this space reflect who you are. You start to develop routines. Every morning, you wake up to the sun streaming through your bedroom windows. You make coffee in your kitchen and stand at the sink, looking out at the backyard while the coffee brews. You sit in the breakfast nook with your coffee and your phone, reading the news, planning your day. This has become your favorite time of day. This quiet hour before the world needs you, when the house is still and peaceful and completely yours. On weekends, you work on the house. You paint the spare bedroom, the soft blue-gray you chose, and it looks even better than you imagined. You paint the other spare bedroom a warm cream with white trim. You hang curtains in the living room, white linen that filters the light beautifully and moves gently in the breeze when the windows are open. You buy plants for the living room and the kitchen, because plants make a house feel alive. A fiddle leaf fig for the corner of the living room. Herbs on the kitchen windowsill that you can snip for cooking. You start cooking real meals in your kitchen. Not just quick dinners, but actual cooking. Roasting a chicken with vegetables, making soup from scratch, baking bread on a Sunday afternoon. The first time you roast a chicken in your oven, you invite friends over to share it. They come over for dinner, and they walk through your house, and they say all the right things. They say it's beautiful. They say you chose well. They say they're so happy for you, and you can tell they mean it. You sit around your dining table with your friends, eating the meal you cooked in your kitchen, drinking wine from glasses you unpacked from boxes just last week. And you look around at the faces of people you love, in your dining room, in your house, and you think this is what it's all about. This is why you wanted this space. Not just to have it, but to share it, to fill it with people, and laughter, and life. After dinner, everyone moves to the living room. Someone starts a fire in the fireplace, and you discover that it draws perfectly. No smoke backs up into the house, just the warmth and crackle of burning wood filling the room. You sit on your couch with your friends around you, and you talk late into the night about work and relationships and plans for the future, about nothing and everything. And when they finally leave, they hug you at the door and tell you to invite them back soon. And you will. You absolutely will. You develop relationships with your neighbors. The couple next door comes over to introduce themselves and welcome you to the neighborhood. They bring you a plant, a snake plant, that they say is impossible to kill, which you appreciate because you're still learning how to keep plants alive. They tell you about the neighborhood, about the community garden 2 blocks over, about the farmer's market on Saturday mornings at the park, about the best coffee shop and the best pizza place, and where to get your car fixed. You meet the older woman who lives across the street when you're out front one Saturday morning, pulling weeds from the flower beds. She comes over with a trowel and some advice about what grows well in this yard. She tells you she's been in her house for 35 years. She's seen families come and go. She's watched kids grow up and move away and sometimes come back. She tells you she's glad a young person bought this house, someone who will love it the way the last owners did. You talk for an hour, kneeling in the flower bed, learning which plants are perennials and which are annuals, what to cut back in fall, and what to leave for winter interest. You start to learn the rhythms of your street. You learn which neighbors leave for work early and which ones sleep in. You learn that the family 3 doors down has kids who catch the school bus at the corner every morning at 7:30. You learn that Friday nights, people are out in their yards, mowing lawns or washing cars, or just sitting on their porches. You learn that your neighborhood is the kind of place where people wave when they drive by, where kids ride bikes on the sidewalk, where it feels safe and friendly and like a real community. You start working on the backyard. You buy a grill, a nice one with 3 burners and a side burner for sauces. You set it up on the patio and you grill burgers one Saturday afternoon just to test it out. They turn out perfect, seared on the outside and juicy inside. You eat them standing up at the kitchen island, and you think about all the meals you'll cook out there, all the summer evenings ahead. You buy furniture for the patio, a table and 4 chairs, all-weather wicker with comfortable cushions in a blue and white stripe. You buy an umbrella that fits in the center of the table, providing shade on hot days. You buy plants in big pots to set around the patio, and you water them every evening, watching them thrive in the sun and warmth. Geraniums and petunias and trailing sweet potato vine that cascades over the edges of the pots. You hang a bird feeder in the big oak tree at the back of the yard, and within days, the birds find it. You learn to identify them by their calls and colors. Cardinals with their bright red feathers and sharp chips, blue jays, loud and bossy, chickadees with their distinctive call, finches in yellows and browns. You buy a field guide to birds and you keep it on the kitchen counter, and you look up every new bird you see. It becomes a hobby you didn't expect, this bird watching, but it brings you so much joy. These small moments of watching life happen in your yard. You plant a garden in the sunny spot along the back fence. Tomatoes and peppers and basil and zucchini. You've never had a garden before, but you learn as you go. You read books and watch YouTube videos and talk to the older woman across the street who's been gardening for decades. You get dirt under your fingernails and sun on your face. And there's something deeply satisfying about it, about putting seeds in the ground and watching them grow, about tending living things and seeing them thrive because of your care. When the first tomato ripens, you pick it warm from the vine and you eat it right there in the yard. And it's the best tomato you've ever tasted. Not because it's particularly special, but because you grew it. In your yard, in your home. You grew something, and that matters in a way you didn't expect it to. The seasons change and you experience your first full cycle in this house. You see spring arrive with the trees in the backyard leafing out in that bright new green that only happens in spring. The bulbs you didn't even know were there push up through the ground and bloom. Daffodils in yellow and white, tulips in red and pink and purple, hyacinths that fill the air with their sweet, heavy perfume. The previous owners planted them years ago, and now you get to enjoy them. Summer is long and warm and perfect. You eat dinner outside almost every night. You invite people over and you grill and you sit around the patio table until the fireflies come out. You hang string lights across the patio, and they glow softly in the evenings, creating that magical ambiance you always dreamed about. You buy an outdoor speaker and you play music while you cook. Jazz on Friday nights, classic rock on Saturday afternoons. Your backyard becomes an extension of your living space, a place you're in as much as you're inside. You have your first thunderstorm in the house, and you sit in the breakfast nook watching the rain sheet down, the thunder rumbling close, the lightning flashing bright enough to light up the whole backyard. The house feels solid and safe around you. You're dry and warm and protected, watching nature's show from the comfort of your home. The storm knocks down some small branches from the trees, but nothing serious. And after it passes, everything smells clean and fresh, and the grass is impossibly green. Fall arrives and the trees in your yard start to change color. The oak trees turn gold and russet, and the maple at the back fence goes bright red. The leaves drift down slowly over weeks, covering your lawn. You rake them into piles, and it's satisfying work. Physical and simple and good. You bag some of them for yard waste pickup, but you leave some in the garden beds as mulch, the way the older woman across the street taught you. Natural insulation for the plants, she said. And it looks good too, that layer of brown leaves protecting the soil. You decorate for Halloween, something you've never had space to do before. You put pumpkins on the front porch steps, 3 of them in different sizes. You hang a wreath on the door, made of fall leaves and small gourds. When trick-or-treaters come on Halloween night, you sit on your porch handing out candy, watching the neighborhood kids walk by in their costumes. Parents wave and thank you. Kids call out, "Cool house," as they walk away. Their voices bright with sugar-induced energy. You feel like part of something, part of this community, part of this place. Thanksgiving arrives and you host it at your house for the first time. Your family comes. Everyone you love crowded into your dining room. You cook the turkey in your oven, and you set the table with your good dishes and cloth napkins and candles and hurricane glass holders. The house smells like turkey and stuffing and pie. The windows steam up from all the cooking. People are in every room, talking and laughing, and the house feels full in the best possible way. When everyone sits down at the table, there's barely room for all the food. Platters and bowls cover every inch of the table. Before you eat, you go around and everyone says what they're thankful for. And when it's your turn, you say this house, this space that's allowed you to gather everyone you love. This is what you're thankful for. After dinner, people linger. No one wants to leave. Some people nap on the couch. Some people take walks around the neighborhood to burn off the meal. Some people do dishes in your kitchen while others dry. Everyone finds a spot, a comfortable place to be. And you realize this is what makes a house a home. Not the walls or the floors or the perfect kitchen. It's this: people you love, filling the space with their presence. Winter comes, and you experience your first snow in the house. You wake up one morning, and the world outside is white and quiet. You make coffee, and you stand at the living room window, watching the snow fall. Big, fat flakes that cover the yard, the patio furniture, the roof of the shed. Everything looks clean and new and magical, like the world has been reset overnight. You light fires in the fireplace on the coldest evenings. You curl up on the couch with a blanket and a book, and the fire crackles beside you. The house is warm and cozy, insulated from the cold outside. You feel safe here, protected, home. You decorate for Christmas. A tree in the living room, real, not artificial, filling the house with that pine scent. Lights strung around the windows, the electric kind that glow softly in the evenings. A wreath on the door with red berries and a big bow. You hang stockings from the mantel over the fireplace. You put candles in all the windows. Your house looks like something from a magazine, but better, because it's real. It's yours. It's filled with your life. You have people over for Christmas Eve. A casual gathering, not a formal party. People bring food and drinks. Kids run around the house, excited about Santa coming. Adults stand in the kitchen talking, glasses of wine in hand. Someone plays Christmas music. Someone starts a fire in the fireplace. The house is full of warmth and light and love. Late in the evening, after everyone has left, you walk through the house turning off lights. You straighten up a little, but not too much. You like the evidence of the gathering, the wine glasses waiting to be washed, the plates stacked on the counter, the couch cushions askew from where people sat. It all means something. It all means your house is being lived in and loved. You sit in the living room in the dark, with just the lights from the Christmas tree glowing, and you think about this year, about how much has changed, about how you started the year searching for a house, and you're ending it here in your home, surrounded by everything you've built. New Year's comes and you stay home. You don't need to go out. You have everything you need here. You make yourself a nice dinner. You open a bottle of good wine. You watch the countdown on TV from your couch, wrapped in a blanket. And when the new year arrives, you raise your glass to yourself, to this house, to this life you're building. As the year turns, you think about the future, about all the years you'll spend here, about all the memories you'll make in these rooms, about how this house will change as your life changes. Maybe you'll share it with someone someday. Maybe you'll raise children here. Or maybe you'll live here alone, perfectly content in your own space. Whatever happens, this house will hold it. Your joy and your sorrow, your ordinary days, and your extraordinary ones. You've been in the house for almost a year now, and it no longer feels new. It feels like home. You know every creak in the floors. You know which windows let in the most light at different times of day. You know the smell of it, the sound of it, the feel of it. You know it the way you know your own body, intimately, completely. You've made it yours. The walls have your art on them. The shelves have your books. The kitchen has your dishes and your favorite coffee mugs and the cast iron skillet you inherited from your grandmother. The closets have your clothes. The drawers have your things. Every single space has been touched by you, used by you, lived in by you. But more than that, the house has made you yours too. It's changed you, given you confidence and pride and a sense of belonging you never had before. It's given you a place to be fully yourself, a place to try new things and fail and succeed and grow. It's given you roots. It's given you home. You're sitting in the breakfast nook on a Sunday morning in early spring. The sun is streaming through the windows. Your coffee is hot in your hands. The birds are singing outside. The house is quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and the tick of the clock in the hallway. You look out at the backyard and you see the first green shoots of bulbs coming up. Soon there will be daffodils. Soon the trees will leaf out. Soon you'll be planting your garden again. Another cycle, another season, another year in this house that's become your home. And you smile, because this is your life now. This is your reality. This beautiful, ordinary, extraordinary life in this house that used to be a dream and is now just home. You think back to that first day when you walked through the door for the first time as a visitor, when everything was possible and nothing was certain, when you let yourself imagine what it would be like to live here. And now you know. Now you're living it. It's everything you hoped it would be, and more. Because a house is just a structure until you fill it with your life. Until you cook meals in the kitchen and sleep in the bedroom and read books on the couch and plant seeds in the garden. Until you fill it with people you love, in memories you cherish, in ordinary moments that become extraordinary simply because they happen here. This house has become more than a place to live. It's become a mirror of who you are and who you want to be. It's become a foundation for the life you're building. It's become, in the truest sense of the word, your home. You finish your coffee and you wash your cup and you dry it and put it away. You walk through the house, room by room, just looking, just being, just appreciating. The morning light in the living room, the way your books look on the built-in shelves, the photos on the mantle, the plants thriving in the kitchen window, the way everything fits together. You go upstairs and you make your bed, smoothing the comforter, fluffing the pillows. You open the windows to let in the spring air, fresh and clean and full of possibility. You stand in your bedroom and you breathe in and you breathe out, and you feel grateful, so deeply grateful for this space, this sanctuary, this home. You think about all the people who've lived in this house before you, the families who raised children here, the couples who grew old here, the lives that unfolded within these walls. And now it's your turn. Your turn to add your story to the story of this house. Your turn to love it and care for it and fill it with life. You walk back downstairs and out to the backyard. The grass is starting to green up after winter. The garden beds are ready for planting. The patio furniture is uncovered and clean, ready for another season of meals and gatherings and quiet evenings. You stand in the center of your yard and you turn slowly, taking it all in. The house behind you, the trees around you, the fence marking the edges of your space, your little piece of the world. A neighbor waves from their yard next door. You wave back. You're part of this neighborhood now, part of this community. You belong here. You go back inside and you close the door behind you. You lock it, even though it's the middle of the day, because that's what you do when you own a home. You take care of it. You protect it. You love it. And as you stand in your kitchen, in your house, in your home, you realize that this is what you've been searching for all along. Not just a place to live, but a place to belong, a place to be yourself, a place to build a life. And you found it. You're here. You're home. This is your dream home. And this is your life in it. And it's beautiful. You know, there's something magical about the moment when a house stops being a dream and becomes your reality. When you stop saying, I wish, and start saying, I have. When the address changes from a location you visit to the place you call home. And that's what this house has become for you. Not just a building with walls and a roof. Not just an investment or a milestone, but a true home. The place where you are most yourself. The place where your life happens. Think about all the small moments that have happened here already. The first morning you made coffee in your kitchen and stood at that farmhouse sink watching the birds. The first time you came home after a long day at work and felt that sense of relief when you walked through your front door. The first time you had people over and realized your dining table was exactly the right size. Your kitchen was exactly the right layout. Your house was exactly the right home for gathering the people you love. Think about the quiet moments too. Reading in bed on a Sunday morning with nowhere to be. Taking a bath in that soaking tub with candles and music. Sitting in your backyard on a summer evening, watching the light fade and the fireflies rise. Making dinner on a Tuesday night, nothing special, just cooking because you need to eat. And realizing how much you love this kitchen, this space, this life. These are the moments that make a house a home. Not the big dramatic ones, though those matter too, but the ordinary ones, the daily rhythms, the small rituals, the way you know exactly where the light will be at 3 p.m, the way you can walk through your house in the dark without turning on lights because you know where everything is, the way it smells after you've been away for a few days and you walk back in. That smell that's uniquely yours, uniquely home. And you've created this. You found this house when it was just a listing online, just a possibility among many. You walked through it and recognized it for what it could be. You made the offer and went through the stress of closing and moved your life into these rooms. You painted walls and hung curtains and planted gardens. You invited people in and made memories. You turned a house into your home. That's not a small thing. That's actually an enormous thing. In a world that often feels temporary and uncertain, you've created something permanent, something solid, something yours. You've put it down roots, real roots, and that changes everything. There will be hard days ahead, of course. Days when something breaks and needs fixing. Days when the mortgage payment feels heavy. Days when you wonder if you made the right choice. But those days will be vastly outnumbered by the good ones. By the days when you walk through your front door and feel grateful. By the days when you sit in your backyard and feel at peace. By the days when you look around and think, yes, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And as the years go on, this house will change with you. Maybe you'll renovate the kitchen again someday, update it to whatever style is current then. Maybe you'll finish the basement completely, turn it into a real living space. Maybe you'll add a deck or a patio cover or a fence around the front yard. The house will grow and change as your needs change, as your life changes. Maybe you'll share this house with someone someday, if you don't already. Maybe there will be a partner who moves in and brings their furniture and their life and their love. Maybe there will be kids running through these rooms, leaving fingerprints on the walls and toys on the floor, and noise and chaos and joy in every corner. Or maybe you'll live here alone, contentedly, enjoying the freedom of your own space and your own life on your own terms. Whatever happens, this house will hold it. All of it. The celebrations and the disappointments, the promotions and the layoffs, the relationships that begin and the ones that end, the pets that come into your life and the ones that leave, the friends who become family and the family who become distant, the milestones and the ordinary days. All of it will happen here, within these walls, and the house will hold all of it with the same steady presence. Years from now, you'll have moments where you stop and look around and realize how much has changed. You'll see photos from when you first moved in, back when the walls were bare and the rooms were empty, and you'll marvel at how different it looks now, how lived in, how loved, how completely and utterly yours. You'll have favorites that develop over time, a favorite spot to sit when you want to think, a favorite window to look out of when you're on the phone, a favorite time of day when the light hits just right. These small preferences will add up to a deep knowledge of this space, an intimacy with every corner of it. And someday, maybe decades from now, when it's time to move on, you'll walk through these rooms one last time. You'll remember the day you first saw them. You'll think about all the life that happened here, all the meals cooked in this kitchen, all the nights slept in this bedroom, all the conversations had in this living room, all the seasons watched from this backyard, and you'll feel grateful, so grateful for this house, for this home, for this chapter of your life. But that's far in the future. Right now, you're here. Right now, this is your home. Right now, you have everything you need. A roof over your head that's yours. Walls around you that protect you. Spaces that hold your life. And that's enough. That's more than enough. That's everything. So tonight, as you drift off to sleep in your bed, in your room, in your house, let yourself feel proud. Proud of what you've accomplished. Proud of what you've created. Proud of the home you've made. You did this. You found this house, and you made it yours, and you built a life here. And that's something to celebrate. Sweet dreams in your dream home. May you wake up tomorrow morning to sunlight streaming through your windows, to the birds singing outside, to the quiet peace of a space that's completely, perfectly, wonderfully yours. This has been Bedtime Daydreams. Thank you for spending this time with us. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe and leave a comment telling us about your dream home. What would it look like? Where would it be? What's the one feature you absolutely need? Until next time, sleep well, dream big. And remember that home is wherever you make it.